Hello, my name's Amy and welcome to this cozy day writing vlog. It is a Friday, which is the one day of the week when my daughter is at a childminder's, and I don't have to go anywhere today, which means it is the perfect day to stay indoors and write. The weather is also awful. It has been incredibly wet and windy here this week, so I'm not much inclined to go out anyway. So the main event of today is going to be editing. We are only a few days away from NaNoWriMo, but before Nano, I really need to try and finish the book I'm working on, which is called Echo State. I'm down to the last 3 chapters. I've made good inroads on the 3rd of those chapters, so there'll be 2 more after that. I would like to get 2 done today and just leave 1 for the weekend and possibly going over into NaNoWriMo, but a lot is going to depend on how today goes. So without further ado, let's get writing. So far this morning, Echo State has been going really well. I wrapped up the 3rd to last chapter. I ended up adding in about 400 words there. I kind of thought that chapter might need more work, but by the time I'd added to the conversation in the chapter and added those 400 words in, I was pretty happy with it. So now I'm into the 2nd to last chapter. This is one I was very uncertain about when I drafted it, so I'm going to have to read it through very carefully and see if I want to make any changes. I've started the edits on it. The first half is looking pretty clean, but I think the second half might need work. And the final chapter, which I may or may not get to today, was written several months after the rest of the book. It's also really, really long, so I'm going to have to go through that one very carefully as well. I'm quite happy with the end of the book. It has a bit of a twist right at the end, which leads into the 3rd book of the trilogy, but I do want to make sure that everything running up to that twist works and makes sense. So I've probably done about an hour and a half on Echo State so far. The rest of my morning has been taken up with doing some laundry and a few other little jobs. I'm not good at just sitting at the computer for hours on end. I do like to break up my day. I will take a break of maybe 5 minutes, then come back and sit down for another 20. It's now about 11:30. I'm probably going to take a break now until lunch and get back to it after that. Although the problem I'm having now is deciding how to spend my afternoon. I have lots of work to get on with. I could make a really big dent in the remaining work on Echo State. I don't know if I'd get it finished, but I know I could get pretty close. And there's a little bit more NaNoWriMo prep work I'd like to do, and a few admin tasks that I really need to take care of that I've been putting off for weeks. But at the same time, this is my one free day where I do not have to look after my daughter. So the prospect of picking up the camera and going out for a walk is very, very appealing. And I'm wondering if I can squeeze that in. This is the difficulty with only having 1 day a week to yourself. 1 day is still more than I've had in a very, very long time, but there's only so much you can squeeze in 6 or 7 hours. I can choose to work and get as close to the end of Echo State as possible, or I can take a break and go for a walk, but we'll see what I decide when I've done a bit more work. It's about 4 o'clock now and my writing day is coming to an end. After lunch, I did manage a bit more editing. I am very close to finishing the penultimate chapter of Echo State. So I'm very hopeful that I will be able to wrap that up over the weekend and probably get into the last chapter as well. I'm really trying to push myself at the moment to finish 3 chapters a week at a minimum, because if I can get to the stage where I am reliably doing 3 chapters every week, it's going to make a big difference to my publishing plans in the future and how quickly I can wrap projects up. And Echo State has really shown me that I need to do this. This book has been ongoing since April. That's just the edits, of course. So I won't say I'm sick of it because I still really love this book, but I do not want another project to take this long. It really got out of hand this time. And then after that, we did manage a short walk in between the rain. The sunshine from this morning did not last. We had rain and gales at lunchtime, but we did manage to get out for a bit. There is some beautiful autumn colour out there right now. And the last thing you saw me doing was a bit of my NaNoWriMo prep work. I talked about this in a previous vlog, how I'm reading a biography of a Florentine Renaissance figure to give me some ideas for the story I'm going to be writing for NaNoWriMo. It's very light as research goes. I'm really just reading the book, and if something jumps out to me as being of possible interest, I just make a few notes. This is definitely not going to be a project where footnotes or a bibliography are necessary. And that wraps up my writing day. Thank you for joining me. It has been a really lovely day, and for once I feel like I actually made the most of having a full writing day. There have been occasions where I've just kind of flopped and ended up spending the afternoon watching YouTube or TV, which is fine when I need that, but it's also really nice to have a good, productive day and feel like I made the most of my time. So now NaNoWriMo is just around the corner and I will be back soon with some nano vlogs. In the meantime, keep writing everyone, and I'll see you next time.